everybody, it's me again. I have been missing in action for quite a while this week simply because we've been so busy. At least I've been busy. He hasn't been busy, but I've been busy. I've got my eBay shop has been absolutely full of work, loads of orders. So I have been getting all these orders done. So that's why you haven't seen me for a while. But notice the colour. I have dyed it a plum purpley red, and for all I made sure that every strand of my hair was purple. I really did it. I've used my rubber gloves to make sure it all got in and spread it around. It seems to be, I don't know, you can see lots of grey in it, so maybe some bits of grey don't take as well as other bits. I don't know. Anyway, completely different colour. The only trouble is I haven't done much sewing. I have made a jumper from one of the cheap fabrics that I got, which looked lovely before I coloured my hair, but now I've coloured my hair, they clash. So I shall just put a picture up and show you what it's like. It's actually another Jaylee Yoko top that I made. And I had it on this morning despite having a colour clash, but I had to take it off because I was absolutely boiling in here. When I did the vlog about the 12 things I don't want to do without, you all made comments about it, and this is the comments that this is what you said. So what I'm going to do is I'm doing this on the laptop. So on this laptop, I'm going to open my messages that some of you gave me. I've saved some of them. Can't do them all, but I thought it'd be quite nice to go through them. And here are some of the comments. Now, some of the comments are kind of outside those 12 things I couldn't do without, but I thought you might like to hear about them. So just hang on a second. The first one was from Linda Wade. So hi, Linda. Linda was referring to one of the vlogs I did where I was showing you some dresses that I made. Oh, the Antrim dress. And she was saying there's a product in the States called Jobst. It stays. And it's a roll-on used to hold up support hose. Oh. She says it's clear, gentle, washes off with water. I have very sensitive skin. I have no reaction to it. It rolls directly on skin, and I use it for V-necks, bra straps, hose, whatever. So basically, it must be a roll-on sticky stuff that when you've got a V, I think she was referring to the Antrim dress, that when you have, because it bursts open, she rolls this on. It's a bit like an antiperspirant, I would imagine, and puts the fabric over, and it stays in place. So that's quite a good idea. Jobst, it stays. I must check it out and see if I can find it in the UK. The next one was Jodie Keswick. And Jodie says she's from the mountains of Central California. Thank you for taking me out on your walks. I think it's a lot of people have said this, that it's the only way they can get out by watching what I or other people are doing when they're out in the country or outside. Thank you for your matters. They feel like a lovely visit with an old friend. I wanted to comment on the turtle mask you showed. I don't know if I think I was telling you about this turtle mask that it's like a V. It's like a cowboy type scarf that you put around your neck, and then you pull it up to Velcro there, and the bottom folds over or something, and it with Velcro, and there's a magnet rather on either side, and you pull it up and it goes to a magnet there, and Velcro holds it under here. And she says, I bought a turtle pillow neck support before a trip to Hawaii a couple of years ago. It's unlike any other travel pillow I've ever seen, and I fancy myself rather a connoisseur of travel pillows because I use them not only when I travel, but also for sleeping in comfy chairs. I've had my back trouble and have broken ribs that kept me from lying down for weeks at a time. I'm so impressed with the turtleneck pillow that I would trust any innovation that they offer. I'm only not buying one of their masks because I need to use a mask so rarely. I have a wonderful neighbour who goes out and does my shopping for me. So that's a really nice one from Jodie. The next one was from Angela, regular commenter. Hi, Angela. Angela 10226. Angela, in part of her message to me, she says, "Did you get your advent calendar yet?" Well, yes, I've got two. I've got two advent calendars and another thing that I've got for Christmas, and I'm hoping to do Vlogmas. So you will probably see me, fingers crossed, every day if I have time to get it done. And yes, I've got some advent calendars, so it'll be nice to show you what I've got. She says, I saw one the other day and was getting ready to order it, and then I think it was Kate from Fold Line that made mention of it. I know things are different this year, but I do so enjoy watching you do Vlogmas, so I thought I would open them with you. Probably would wind up getting the same items, at least from the hemline. See you later. Yes, I've got hemline, and I've got a the other one that I've got is not sewing. It is it's this one, because I got some free samples with it. It's L'Occitane, and I got I can't remember if I got free samples. These are free samples, but these were extras to it. And there's this one and this one. I think one of them was a special offer at the time when I got it, and this one is what's this one? It's a little bag with a pouch at the front. Not that you'd probably put anything in there because it would drop out. And inside, this one has, well, I'm not going to tell you what's in here. I'm going to open it on December 1st, which is next week. So I'll open that and let you see what's in them on December 1st. So yes, I've got that one, and I've got a strange one, which has nothing to do with sewing, but I thought you might like it, especially if you like a bit of Sherlock Holmesy type stuff. So watch this space. The next person is Susan Kay. Said, I studied textiles during the last ice age, and if I remember correctly, you can dye natural fibres, cotton, linen, etc. easily, but man-made fibres would be a problem. Well, that I have told you that man-made fibres are a problem. If you're unsure, use the burn test. Take a small piece of your fabric and burn it in an ashtray or something. Natural fibre will burn and man-made fibres will melt. Yes, I did know that. I got a book by Anne Ladbury, who was very popular in the 70s in the UK. She used to have television programmes, and she did a book on fabrics. And I'll put a picture of it up there to let you see. She did a book on fabrics, and in that it would tell you what the burn test was. It had a list of all the different burn tests. Now, I'm not sure if that book's still available, but it's like it's a little sewing encyclopedia for me, and I might sometime, maybe during one of the vlogmases, tell you all about it. So yes, the burn test is very helpful. Then another Susan Wood, said this is about the dyeing of fabric, and she says, next question, I know you said it didn't fade, but when you wash the made garment next time, would you wash with other colours? And this was where I was telling you about how I dyed fabric. When I wash it again, I just wash it in with colours. I put darks in, and I put any darks in, and I've never ever had anything run, any colour run. I used to, when we used to have the little Dylon tubs, or when Dylon first started creating stuff, I used to, and it didn't work very well, but now it's so good and I think your washing machine, in my washing machine, it rinses about 4 or 5 times. So by the time it's done all that, it's got rid of all the dye anyway. So yes, I put in with dark coloured wash, and I don't have any issues. I'm just going to ask what's the kitten's names. I think I've told you before. The white one is Bella, the black one is Izzy. Most of the time I call it the white one and the black one. And I'll say to his lordship, is Blackie in the house now? And it's Whitey causing all the problems. I tend to not call it's pointless calling Bella because she's deaf. And Izzy, I do call Izzy when she's out on a night time. I shout for Izzy, Izzy. But most of the time I say that black one's very annoying. That black one's here again. Janice K says, most wool I've ever seen isn't the colour of sheep, so wool has to be able to be dyed. Love the pillowcases, and I'm glad you didn't disturb your perfectly folded fabrics. Back in the olden days, I tried using Rit liquid dye. Never liked it much. I will have to look for Dylon here. Otherwise, there's always online. Yes, she was talking about this Rit. Now, at the same time, and I haven't replied to you yet, I think it's Shari, if I remember rightly. Let me see if I can find you. Shari, I got that many emails and stuff from all over them. SE Knight, Shari Knight, yes. And oh, she sent pictures as well. Shari says, "You're right, the dye is called RIT." Hi, Shari. And she says the dye is called RIT. This is the dye I used to dye polyester fabric. I had heard that RIT can dye polyester. So she said, I used the Midnight Navy to dye 2 meters of the white fabric in the photo, before and after. She's put pictures up and I'll put those up there for you to see. I was hoping for a darker colour, but it turned out to be more of a denim colour. I think it looks grey in the photo. It did work. I did this a while ago. I still don't know what to make with it. It's smooth on one side and a French terry on the other. The other thing I did was not follow the instructions to the letter. Oh, she's a woman after my own heart. I didn't have a pot to ruin, so I used a bucket in tub. Because I think RIT doesn't go in the machine. I think RIT is the one that you do in a bucket or in a pot. And she says, I didn't have a pot to ruin, so I used a bucket in the tub and kept adding boiling water to try and keep it to temperature for the specified period of time. And I used the whole bottle of dye. It did work, and this was my first attempt at dyeing synthetic fabric. I thought this would help you with your vlog. So yes, RIT, I must get this RIT because I've got some polyester fabric that I've had for years. I think one of them was some material that I bought to make before my mum died. We were going to my niece's wedding and I was going to make her a blouse, and she decided she didn't want that. It wasn't that she didn't like it. It was only she died 2 weeks later, and I think she was at that, she was unsettled. It was kind of a phase just before death where she was a bit unsettled, and she didn't want to wear a blouse. She refused to wear a blouse. So I didn't make that. She said, I don't want a blouse. I don't want to wear a blouse. And I think she wore a jumper instead. So I have this fabric and it's not my kind of fabric. And I keep thinking, should I sell it on eBay, which I might do, or should I dye it? But then it's a fabric, it's a pattern that I wouldn't really like anyway. It's very ditzy, but old lady ditzy, and I don't feel like old lady ditzy, but I might try it with something else, and one day I'll get some and try it as well. So thanks, Sherry, thanks for letting me know about that. Kerry McElwain, I always dyed my underwear when it started to grey. Back in the day, every chemist shop had a big display of the tiny nylon tins, which you put in a big pot on your cooker, and you had to keep stirring. It goes on, but I forgot to extend the message. But yes, I used to do that. I used to wear sloggies, and a lot of you have mentioned sloggy underwear. I used to wear that, and it used to go greyish after a while. So I dye it, change a different colour. Now I wear black most of the time simply because it doesn't show the dirt. No, I just feel more comfortable in black than white. And I think probably the reason why I wear black is because white always discolours or fades and goes yellow or goes a funny colour. So I just prefer the black because it doesn't change. Black is black. So yes, I used to dye a lot of my sluggy white knickers when they started because they still had a good bit of wear in them, and it was just the colour that didn't look right, or if I'd washed them with other colours and they'd gone a funny colour. I used to do that. Then another one was Vicky H in America. In the US, we have colour catcher sheets. You can throw them in the washer to absorb any colour that runs. They have a shape and feel of dryer sheets. I use them when I buy new fabric so I can wash different colours together. I don't know if they're sold in other countries, but they are in the laundry aisle. I have heard of colour catcher fabric sheets, and I remember when they first came out and everybody bought them. And then it's like everything else. You just think, oh, do I really need it? And I don't bother. But I would imagine if you are washing a lot of different clothes together and you don't want them to run, those are a good idea. I might see if I can get some and let you see what they're like. Then Lisa Jones. My daughters are university age and bum bags have made a big comeback for clubbing. And yes, you're right, because in our day you used to put the handbag on the floor and you danced around your handbag. These days you don't want anybody to get anything, so you wear bum bags when you're clubbing. And she was saying Primark were doing them in all colours. I saw quite a few older people on holiday last year wearing the sports or mountain warehouse version. Have you been in a cave, Micheline? Yes, I probably have. I don't go to these holiday resorts. We tend to We keep away from holiday resorts because that's exactly what, when I have gone on holiday resorts years and years ago, I used to get fed up with people trying to sell me timeshares. And every time, I got to the stage where I'd get English people trying to sell me timeshares. So I just, as soon as they started talking to me, I'd speak in French and say, Je ne comprends pas. And they say, oh, it's all right, miss, it's all right. And I used to pretend that I was French. And so, but and my mother-in-law once got a handbag stolen by somebody on a motorbike as she was walking along. And these are all things that I thought, do I really want to go to a resort? So we prefer to go driving around France and stop in little towns and sit in a cafe and have a coffee and watch the world go by. And it's probably a very old type thing. His lordship does not like sitting by swimming pools. When I first got with him, we went camping, and at the campsite there was a swimming pool, and I went swimming in the pool. And would he heck go in that pool? He would not go in the pool. And I said, "What's the matter? Can't you swim?" And he says, "Yeah, I can swim, but I don't want to go in the pool." Anyway, we are not, but yes, I probably have been in a cave because we don't do resorts, so we don't know that these bum bags are there. But I think you are very right. I think it's something I've always told. I mean, I think whenever I do go out, I always wear a one over my shoulder. What do you call it? I wear one of these crossbody bags that goes over my shoulder with it at the front so that my arms are covering it. And I do. I think, yes, you're right. I would imagine when you're in clubs, yeah. My daughter did that. She took one of these little handbags and went to the toilets, left it in the toilet, and forgot when she went back. Few minutes later, it was gone. So yes, bum bags are very handy for night clubbing. Mary Baker says, have you ever done a long stick with string and feathers tied to the string? It's great fun for the cats. They'll jump up and down very high. I have. The black one does not like it. She won't play those games. The white one does, but then she eats it. If you leave it lying, she eats it. And then you end up having to, you're pulling string out. If I catch her, I've got to pull and pull and pull. Mary Baker says, why don't you pad out your mannequin to your size? Because I remember I showed you a mannequin and I didn't have it to my size. The simple answer is I can't be bothered. I actually did have a mannequin, one of those adjustable ones where you turn the wheels and you get it all to your size. And it was, I've always had one of those. I had one and I never used it very often, so I sold it on. Then when I started sewing again, I thought, oh, I'll get one. So I bought one and I set it all to my measurements. And the only time I actually used it was to set the level of the hem. And I thought, this is just standing in my room doing nothing. So in the end, I decided to get rid of it. And this mannequin that I've got is actually just a polystyrene one. And it was bought as a large. I don't know. I think at the time, I don't know if they do extra large now, but it was bought as a large. And I just liked it. So no, I haven't really bothered padding it out. I should do really, but it's just sheer laziness. Continuing on, Hazel Cox said, for all crafters everywhere, I've said this many times in chat, find yourself a craft buddy you can link up with online. Sit and chat about what you're doing while you're actually crafting. I chat all the time with Sewing Buddy, who I met online many years ago, and we sew together, or one will be sewing and the other just chatting. In this time of lockdown, please give it a try and don't be shy of seeing someone face to face online. It's okay. And if you get as much enjoyment if you get as much enjoyment as myself and Sandy Beverly do, then surely that's a big bonus. Don't let lockdown be a problem. Turn it into a positive and make friends and have fun. Go on, give it a go. Hazel has a Facebook site, and I can't remember what it is, but I'll put it up there. And there are lots of people who are on there. And if you wanted someone to talk to, you could go onto her Facebook site and say, "Is there anybody that would like to FaceTime me or chat with me, while I'm sewing?" And I'm sure you'll get people who would be interested. Then Beruthiel45 says, back in the day in England, I used Dylon brand, but here in Canada, I've only seen RIT, and I have some ancient unused boxes tucked away on a laundry shelf because it was too much bother dyeing things with it. Boiling water, stirring constantly, never a large enough pot. I currently have a top-loading washer after my previous front loader gave up with the ghost, but it doesn't have an agitator, just turns back and forth like that. I'd love to dye some old linens, though. I haven't seen any brands of dye for sale on sale for years. Time for an Amazon hunt. Thanks for the demonstration. Somebody else said, don't have a front loader. I have a top one that just does that. Well, my front loader just goes round that way and then round that way. So basically, it's doing the same thing, only instead of being sideways, it's that way and it's going like that. So as long as it's swilling the stuff around and as long as you don't pack up too much into it, then it should be fine. Next one. Marie Birmingham, hi, just subscribed and so glad to hear I'm not the only one who likes boys. Been looking for anyone who sews for the larger figures. I have a younger daughter who struggles to get clothes to fit the puppies, as she refers to these things. I'm so pleased to see that I'm not alone in trying to sew with two kitties wanting attention. Have to watch them as one loves to pull out the pins when I'm sewing. Yes, hi Marie, it's lovely to hear from you and it's lovely to know that you enjoy my vlogs. Yes, the cats do, everywhere I go, they get into my workroom and everything. Especially the white one. The black one's hairs don't show up. I can't see them anywhere, except the other week I was clearing the top of my desk and all this black hair came off. And then I redid it and I cleared it again a week later, I think it was, and all this cat hair came off again. So yes, they do cast, but the white one, it just sticks to you all the time. It's like a magnet. Angela 10226 again. I have a question for you. I believe I told you a long time ago that I love Doctor Who. So I've heard many times the expression crikey. Don't know if it's the way it's spelled, at Crickey or Crikey. But just want to know, is that a swear word? No, it isn't. Although we do add a little bit of religion to the end of it. A lot of people in Britain are not very religious. So we come out with, oh God, oh crikey Moses. Crikey Moses. I don't know why we added, but somebody started it off and it just spreads around. Crikey Moses. And it just basically, it's just very much like heavens above. Oh my goodness, we go crikey, crikey Moses. Also, it is very common for people to know when it's time for them to die. It's something we deal with a lot in hospital. You learn never to doubt when someone tells you that they're going to die. Evidently, your father was one of those people. I think I was telling you about how my father, when he went up to bed, he said goodbye in French and not good evening. And or good night. He said goodbye and not good night. And basically, we think he knew that he was going to die. So yes, I'm sure they did. I think my mother was very like that because the night my mum died, she died in hospital, and she was very unsettled. My niece was there, and sadly, my niece left. I was going to go and see her the next day, and my niece left the hospital, and she rang me up and she said, Grandma's very unsettled. Do you think I should go and get her a radio or something? And she said she wants to go home. And I said, well, she can't go home. They're looking after her. And then half an hour later, we got a call saying she died. So she must have known. Then another thing that I wanted to tell you was about the Antrim dress, and she wrote to me a couple of times, and it was Glenda Vizecki, and when the Antrim dress came out, she was actually a tester for it, and the indie pattern company CKC has a pattern for high-waisted support wear. Former is the name of the pattern. You need to make. Oh, I'm running out of battery. Hang on. Let me get on here. It goes. Which side does it go on that side? You need to make out of athletic fabric. I love this pattern. Also on the Antrim dress, if you use an athletic knit or something like that, would work wonderful for the second layer of the waistband, especially in rayon spandex or jersey. So what she's saying is in the inside part, if you make the inside, the back, your waistband is made of a ruffled pattern on the front and a flat pattern on the inside. And as she says, if you use spandex and then that's fixed to the ruffled pattern fits to that, then it'll stop it from sagging and everything. So I think I might try that. I've also found that I can't have my rayon spandex knit and ITY clothing like other clothes from the shoulders. You have to drape it over the bottom of the hanger like pants. The weight of the whole garment is too heavy and stretches out of shape. So what she was saying, that if she uses a rayon spandex knit, she has to drape it over because the weight of it pulls it down, makes it sag, and I think she's right on that. She says, I love your vlogs, have fun with clay, and I look forward to seeing what you make. I've only used the clay to make replacement carrot noses for my snowman collection. Oh, that's interesting. Thank you, Glenda. Seaside Mum said, if you come across things you've forgotten about, sell them. Something to keep you busy during lockdown. Heaving in our part of the world means throwing up. I said, oh, yes, I said, oh, the place was heaving. And that to us means that it's busy, busy, busy. You know, we won't go in there because the place is heaving. And that's because it's very busy. However, I don't remember, heaving does mean throw up in the UK, but it's not a word we'd use these days. You'd say, oh, I'm going to be sick. Or you'd say he was sick. He was vomiting, but you wouldn't say heaving. At least I don't think I would. You lot might tell me that, but it's not a word. Heaving, I do know, means being sick, but it's not a word that the people around me would use. The next one. I love it when you share your travels. What's it about going out for coffee? We can have all we want at home, but there is something so nice about going to a coffee place and enjoying a coffee. I always think this is a special treat too, and it's, yes, you're right. We just love it. And over this lockdown, I've put another vlog up. We have had the chance to go to Raby Castle, and they're very fortunate because they have a little kiosk, a little cabin, and you can go and get a coffee, you can get a sandwich and a piece of cake or something, and we carry it out and we go for a walk around the gardens, sit on the park bench and have a picnic there. And that's lovely. That's replacing trips to the coffee shop. Really nice, especially in lockdown. Then Mrs. Phillips made a great comment, as if you know, Brad, when we showed you this Karcher window cleaner, which I forgot to film when we did the windows, but oh, it's fantastic. And a lot of you out there have told us that you've got the Karcher. Some of you have had it for years. It is absolutely fantastic. You clean the windows in probably in a tenth of the time that it would take you to clean otherwise. You know, you wash them down with this sponge thing, you squirt it with this thing, then rub it down with the bottle that's got the I'll show you. Got two gadgets, two of these. This is the mop, and it's been through. This is the mop, and this goes on with Velcro. So you basically stick that back onto there. It's been through the washing machine already. This you fill up with your window washing liquid. I just filled mine with vinegar and water, vinegar, and a little tiny drop of fairy liquid. And then you squirt that on, you squirt it, you pull the trigger there, squirt it, and then you rub your windows like that, going round all over, right round. And then you get this. And this has a little bottle. This collects the dirty water in there. And you switch it on. And you go down the window like that. And you can also go like that, but it's best to go down vertically. It's harder when you get to the bottom, so I go along like that. And that sucks the water out. If I stop it. that sucks the water into there and it collects in there. Now I did the full house and it filled up to there. But you can use it for all sorts of things, and it recharges. Got a rechargeable thing there. I think this was about £59. If you've got these tiny little Elizabethan type windows, what I've got, what you call them, Georgian windows, Elizabethan, where they're little squares, not as easy to get this in. But I'm not sure if they've got different blades that fit on there. I think the blades are interchangeable. There, does that come off? I've lost all strength. Yeah, that comes off. So I think you can get narrower ones for to fit in and wider ones. But it's really, really good. I highly recommend this to you. And I'm not getting any money for telling you that. Then, go back to my questions. A lot of you told me about a lot of you told me about how one of the most important things that you don't want to lose is your health, because some of you have got bad health and you don't want it to get worse. And that was quite an eye-opener for me, that you kind of get the impression that everybody out there is absolutely having a whale of a time there, and they've got a lovely physical well-being and everything, and a lot of you don't. So health is very important. Lisa Jones said, I loved this vlog, and while I already feel like I know you, now I feel like I know you better. That's what a few of you said that when I was telling you about the things that I can't do without. Completely agree with the shoes and underwear. I wear Clarks because I wear size 2 and they do smaller shoes. I'm happy to pay a premium for good shoes. I spent years wrestling my daughters into Clarks when they were wanting cheap, trendy school shoes, but now they're in their 20s. They both bought Clarks for the comfort. I love the earrings idea. I do exactly the same thing with bookmarks, but they're becoming a bit harder to buy now, so I might swap to earrings, as I like dangle ones too. Things I wouldn't want to go without are my Kindle and a good cup of Earl Grey tea. Yes, I didn't mention coffee, but I do like a cup of coffee, I have to say. But this is going to be a long one. Mary McAloo. I've lived most of my life with poor eyesight. I have had 3 corneal transplants on one eye and still do not see well, and now the other eye's going. I have had to give up sewing and embroidery. I read a lot. I use a tablet so I can have large print and hold it about 15 inches from my face. I do not watch television because it's so very blurry. Eyes are so important. Take care of them. Hearing is number 2. I've got tinnitus. And I've got this permanent, I describe it as 10 lines of hissing going through my head. And there's about 10 of them. And so when his lordship cooks and he puts the timer on, we could be sitting in the sitting room and he'll say, can you not hear that? And I'm going, hear what? And he says, the timer's beeping. It kind of, it goes beep, 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 beep. But it must be the same tone as my tinnitus. And of course, I can't hear it. And my kids keep saying, Mother, you should get your ears tested, because I always mishear the wrong thing. So Lordship says, can you switch that light on? I'll say, who's high on what? And you'll go, what? Karina Romero said, funny story, I was a teenager in the 60s working in the 70s. Always wore matching stuff like shoes and purses. The earrings were wild and huge. Do you remember those big earrings we used to wear? Well, later on, when my daughter was in middle school, she and a friend were going trick-or-treating for Halloween as ladies of the night, and they were going through my jewellery to find something to wear. I was walking by the room and I heard her friend say, wow, your mum has a lot of hooker jewellery. I love that. Thank you, Karina. That made me laugh when I read it. I'm going to stop there because I've gone on a bit too long. There were a lot more, and I think I've probably there's almost a full hour's worth of comments here. And I really need to stop because I've got a lot of work to do. His lordship's gone away. He's babysitting, and I have to get caught up. So I'll catch you next time. Bye.